I read the statement that DNA had sent out, signed by you, in response to Nottage's address on crime, if that's what we can call it. Right. So I just wanted to get, just for TV, I mean, you had some interesting things to say about this.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you were deeply disappointed. I mean, can
Absolutely.
you explain that?
Well, I'm disappointed in the fact where we are as a country regarding crime. Today, I understand, we have about 99 murders. And this government has done nothing to relieve the Bahamian people of the fear of crime and crime itself. What Minister Nottage did the other day, it's totally a waste of time. He said things that were said before. And at the end of the day, the same thing will happen. Nothing will happen. We need to get tough on these criminals. This country, this island in particular, 21/7, is not a safe place to live. Just last week, Canada, the United States, and the United Kingdom all issued warnings on crime against this country. How difficult can it be? And I don't want to hear people saying that the government cannot deal with crime. The government, at the end of the day, they made that decision, what laws to put in and how the laws are carried out. We need to sweat the small stuff in this country so that there's law, order, and discipline. We don't have law, order, and discipline. You have people peeing on the side of the road. You have people throwing garbage anywhere they want to throw garbage. You have people breaking the traffic laws. You have people, of course, assaulting and cursing, jaywalking. As simple as these things are, we need to enforce them. There must be consequences, and when these persons realize that the government is serious about crime, they will start to pay attention. An island 21/7. And you tell me you can't deal with these criminals in this country in terms of making sure that there are consequences for their criminal activities? It was done in New York. It's done in Singapore. It's done in countries around the world with millions of people. And you telling me this government, the problem is they just don't have the money.
That leads me to what I also want to ask you. You had mentioned that you were basically unsatisfied with what Nottage had to say about addressing the crime problem. Well, if you were Prime Minister and the DNA was government, I mean, what sort of things would you guys do to see the murder rate drop, to see people stop committing crimes?
First and foremost, we would not be interfering with the Commissioner and his good men. We would let them do their jobs. Secondly, capital punishment would be enforced in this country. I'm not going to let a group of men in England dictate how my country will be run. Hell no. We will fix the laws in this country so that that is, those persons in the Privy Council will have to comply with what our law says. They're not going to make laws for our country. We're the government. We could make our laws. And if failing that, we get rid of the Privy Council, man. On the criminal side, we get rid of them. Because obviously, when they start talking about the worst of the worst, their head can't be right. A murder is a murder. And I'm sorry, the worst of the worst, you trying to categorize which murder is worse than the other? That's foolishness. For that alone, we need to get rid of them. For that alone, they got to be at their minds, be saying the worst of the worst. Secondly, persons on bail right now, persons on charged with murder, they will not get any bail. No. We see where persons come out too often, and we see at the end of the day where these persons continue to commit crimes. It cannot happen. We will sweat the small stuff under the DNA government. We will make sure that at the end of the day, if you park in a no parking spot, if you park in a handicapped spot, if you run the red light, you're going to respect the law. There's going to be law and order in this country. Something we've not had for many, many years. There's no political will to deal with it. We will deal with it. We will bring a national services country. See, this government spent $232 million on some vessels about a year and a bit ago. Nothing has changed, eh? We still have illegals coming to this country. We still have gun running. We still have drugs being smuggled in this country. We have human smuggling. And we have poaching. Nothing has changed. $232 million. That money should have been invested in people. Let's get these persons who are graduating from school in particular, with a leaving certificate, with an attendance certificate, persons who have graduated and sitting on the blocks, let's bring them in. Let's retool them. Let's make them members of society that will help build a society. That helps with our crime problem as well. But we will introduce a national service. And note, it's not a national youth service, a national service. Because we've had persons who've been out there for many, many years, who've left high school alone. High school, I cannot get a job. They have to be retooled. We have to build them. We have to bring them in. And I will tell you, the criminal element will respect the law and a DNA government. And me being the Prime Minister, God willing, that's the first thing on the agenda, to ensure that we have a safe country. Because if we don't, everything else goes to naught.